time something a little more special than my other reviews. This is the 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class A220 4MATIC sedan. This is Mercedes' new entry-level model that actually undercuts the CLA in price. And let me tell you what, this very entry model vehicle here is more impressive than the price tag suggests. So first off, I would like to give a huge thanks to Mercedes-Benz of Lancaster, Pennsylvania here. They have tons of inventory, including S-Class, the new G-Class sitting beside me, and they even have the new GT 4-door inside waiting to be bought. Check out their inventory. I have their information down below. Starting off with the new A-Class. A-Class has its first year here in the United States, where it's been sold since, I believe, around 2000 here overseas. It only comes in one variant, the A220, with a 2-liter turbo 4 and optional 4-wheel drive, which is a pretty good thing, especially in the climate of Pennsylvania and up north and everywhere else. So in the front of the new A-Class, you can see that it's got a lot of the new design elements of the new CLS. You can see the large grille that's flanked by this big Mercedes logo that houses the adaptive cruise control sensor. Full LED headlights are standard with these little LED little swoosh things. There's a fake vent here, which is okay. But pretty much what they did was they took a CLS and crafted it on a smaller body, and honestly, it looks pretty good. At 179.1 inches long and a wheelbase of 107.4, this is easily a very small Mercedes. It's probably about the same size as the new GLA. Not too much bigger, not too much smaller. So, coming around here, you have these little LED turn signal indicators on the actual mirror housing. These are power folding, which is pretty good. It's a pretty surprising twist for such a car with this cheap of a starting price. You get this big gigantic body line that goes all the way back here to the rear, and also one that connects down through there. Get these nice little sporty looking side sills. And this model here particularly is riding on 17-inch rims on 205mm tires, which should give this thing some pretty decent. Speaking of grip, the new A-Class comes with an optional 4MATIC 4-wheel drive system that costs an extra $2,000, which is pretty good considering that really the only competitors that have an optional all-wheel drive system that compete with this, I believe, is BMW with the 2 Series, and I believe Audi does offer quattro all-wheel drive with their A3. The main competition for the new A-Class is the Acura ILX BMW 2 Series, very loosely because it's a coupe, not a 4-door, and also the Audi A3, which the A-Class has got a real good fight coming up if it wants to compete with the A3. So out back of the new A-Class, you have all LEDs here. You have your turn signal, your daytimes, the reflector. You have real exhaust tips. Thank you, Mercedes, for not going on the trend of fake exhaust tips. I'm looking at you, Audi, with the death stare. Come on now, Mercedes. God darn it. They don't go to anywhere. But you can see A220 here, as well as the 4MATIC sign and the Mercedes-Benz emblem here. So in order to get into the new A-Class to show you the exquisite interior, here's the Mercedes key fob that is for this car. It's got some nice heft. It's pretty light, but I will say it is kind of basic, but it still works. It's functional. You still have your lock, unlock, panic, and your trunk button, but you also have a actual sensor, so you can put the key in your pocket, walk up to the door, you see this little thumb pad, hit it, The electric mirrors fold in. To open the door, Mercedes does a sensor behind. And first off, looking at this interior, holy crap, is absolutely exquisite. Wait until you hear the price on this car. I'm gonna save that for the end. So let's go ahead and hop in, shall we? So stepping into the new A-Class, it has a very, very low step-in height. It's got a normal sedan kind of height. Then when you shut the door, it sounds pretty solid actually. It's got a nice solid thud. So first off, looking in the interior, you can see it's very upscale looking. But it's mainly flanked by these dual touchscreens here, which is actually really useful. This is the all-new MBUX infotainment system that can be activated by using the button here or just saying, "Hey Mercedes."
How can I help you?
Hi.
I'm sorry, but this function is not available in this vehicle.
So yeah, going around, there's this soft, very soft material here, but it is quite firm. Up on the top of the dash, it's very squidgy there. You got some wood veneer coming through the, flanking the heated seat controls and the seat controls. Down here, it's also soft touch, but you do run into your hard plastics. Coming to the door panel here, again, soft touch, aluminum accent grab handle, but you do run into your hard plastics. The cup holders in here are not lined with felt, that's fine. Coming to the glove box, it's damped, and actually it's pretty large. You can take a look in there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's really large. You can easily fit some huge things in there. Another thing I like are these central air vents. They're these turbine style that actually look really cool, and they make a really satisfying click when you turn them on and off. But these turbine air vents are not very cheap feeling. They don't just go like that and waddle around. You actually have to put a little bit of force into them, which is something that you can tell is very high quality. Steering wheel, 3-spoke design with paddle shifters for the 7-speed dual clutch automatic. It gets the S-Class's steering wheel with actual touch controls here that control the actual, the left side controls up here and the right side controls there as well. You can go through and go through all these little different info screens to show the tachometer. You can show that just by swiping to the right. It's a tiny bit finicky. You can see your economy, your eco display, your navigation, your adaptive cruise, and your forward sensing and everything like that. And then you can go just back to your tachometer. You have 8-way power adjustable seating with 4-way power lumbar. You also have the same amount of controls on the other side, and you also have 4-way lumbar on that side as well, which is definitely a nice touch. I like how these actual motors sound. It's really weird, but it sounds as if you're in an actual, or it sounds like a machine starting up. I don't know how well you guys can hear that, but it sounds really cool. Also, in typical Mercedes fashion, something that I really need is extendable thigh support for people with long legs like me, especially being 6'3". And the best part is the passenger side has it as well. So the touchscreen here in the new A-Class is like I said, a touchscreen. It is finally a touchscreen for this vehicle here. I am so happy. Thank you so much, Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Cancel. Yeah, she's gonna be very annoying whenever you say the brand name. Down here, dual zone climate control. Your hazard switch is right here. You have your controls here on little switches that actually do make a really nice click, and the seat backs are the seat is moving all sorts of different directions now. And truth be honest, it is weird. The seat bottom just moved, and I guess what it's doing is it's trying to keep me up. There goes the backrest. It's trying to keep me awake, or it's stimulating some of the body parts of, or it's stimulating some of my body parts to kind of keep me driving and awake, which is pretty useful for a trip. Coming down here, you do have wireless charging, which is a very nice feature. You have this little, I don't know how well you guys can see that. It's a little toggle here to keep your phone there. You have USB-C, you have a 12 volt, you have these cup holders in here that have these little tiny play buttons that flick up this little thing for smaller drinks, and so on and so forth. Here it controls the actual interface instead of, or here's what controls the new MBUX infotainment system. It is a trackpad and it gives you haptic feedback, which is pretty nice. I don't know if you guys are able to hear it. With your back track button as well as your home button. Your volume switch is right over here, which honestly it doesn't work right now, not sure why. Oh, it's on Bluetooth audio. You have your dynamic switch. You can go from eco to comfort, sport, and individual. Let's try sport mode. It doesn't actually change up the gauges, surprisingly. So click back, you got a star button, you have your little shortcut buttons here. Just press that and that comes up. The infotainment screen on this is very responsive. As I move my finger, it is very, very responsive, and it does follow. What is that? So this is the trackpad. You also have a very soft leather armrest here that also helped when you had the little swivel wheel. This touchpad is tracing, and so on and so forth. Here's the center console. It's small, but it's pretty deep, so that's good. You have 2 more USB-Cs, and that's really it. It's also very, very soft padded back here as well. So up top, you do have a actual sunroof. It's only a single pane, but it does have a pretty decent panoramic. It also opens up, let you have some sunlight, which is really nice. You have LED lighting that comes on ever so dimly, but let's see if the Mercedes A-Class passes the visor test. I don't have good feelings about it. That requires a lot of force to get off. 1, 2, 3. Nope, it does not pass. Come on, Mercedes. I love Mercedes, but honestly, that should be in their cars.
What can I do for you?
Cancel. So this model comes with heated seats, 3 levels. It is missing the ventilated seats, which actually I think that should be made standard, to be honest, because again, this is indeed a Mercedes. So there's kind of something that Mercedes had missed there. Let's go and review what the sound system sounds like. So first off, I have to say, First off, I do have to say that to advance or skip the song, to go back, you just swipe left, swipe right to go to the next song, which honestly I think is pretty cool, but Mercedes should do something like BMW, or Merc should put gesture control that you can do something like that to turn the volume up and do that to turn the volume down, or swipe like that to skip the song, and so on and so forth. But yeah. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
show me ambient lighting.
I'm turning up the ambient light.
They do have ambient lighting, which illuminates on the door here, and as well as I believe in back here. So let's go find that in the infotainment system. There it is. So you have a choice of a lot of colors. You have multicolors and multicolor animation, little welcome effects with the climate, and so on and so forth. I believe the climates do actually light up. Let's try ocean blue. Wow. I don't know how well you guys are able to see this, but it is gorgeous. You can see it, look here. That is beautiful. And it's going dawn blue, so the top is yellow, while the bottom is this very, very deep hue purple. You can go sun yellow and make everything yellow, go jungle green or glacier blue. But I'm gonna go back to ocean blue because that's my favorite color. So on and so forth. So let's go ahead and check out how the sound system is. So this audio system here comes with a 12 speaker 590 watt Burmester surround sound stereo system. One thing I gotta say is it sounds pretty incredible. You have sound focus and sound profiles, which I can actually change to the surround sound, and everywhere I turn my head, it sounds so clear, which is awesome. I love it. But you think that the new A-Class is small with a 107.4 inch wheelbase. Let's see how my 6'3" body actually fits into this car. So you think that the new A-Class would be very small on the inside. Actually, it's pretty roomy. I mean, you do have your hard plastics on the back of the seats instead of leather, which is a cost-cutting feature, but it's all right. 2 mat pockets here. You have air vents here, as well as a fold-down little kind of ashtray with 2 more USB-C ports. I'm surprised they don't have very normal USB ports, but everything's turning to USB-C now, so it makes it a lot easier on production, and so on and so forth. So it kind of doesn't matter. You have these very small door pockets here, so there's not very much storage there. Surprisingly, oddly, this is one of the quirks. You have lock buttons in the lock and unlock in the back. I don't know why Mercedes-Benz didn't put these here. Maybe because the A-Class gets a long wheelbase variant in I believe China, because China loves their long wheelbases. I'm not sure. You have soft touch on the door panels here, which it's nice to know that Mercedes did not cheap out. You got soft touch here. It's very padded right here. And you also have this here. You have auto up-down windows for all 4. I forgot to explain that while I was up front. But you still have your hard plastics. And so on and so forth. Also, you get a little center console here that has little pop-out, small pop-out cup holders here, which is kind of nice. The window. So how far does the window go down? Oh man, it's just got this little itty-bitty sliver. But I'll give it a pass. But you also have this little quarter window, and the window is nice and wide. It's also pretty decent size, so kids will have a good time back here. So out back of the new A-Class, let's check out trunk space. Because this is a small car and its main competition is the Acura ILX, you get a pretty decent sized cargo trunk. Mercedes rates this at 8.6 cubic feet, but honestly I think it's a bit bigger, because if I look in here, it's very wide, it's very deep, and if I do my classic stuff my 6'3" self into this thing, it is tight, but it's workable. So for sure, I know that I can actually fit in here, which is nice. Now for me to get out with this small hatch opening. The tailgate is not powered, which is expected. You do have little storage areas back here. You can pull up this little load cover where you would find the Burmester subwoofer. There is no spare. I'm kind of disappointed with that. It's probably a fixed flat kit, but yeah. So let's go look at the powertrain, start this thing up, let you hear the sound. So what's nice about this hood is that when you open it, it's hydraulically assisted. This is the company's corporate 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with automatic start and stop. It is also deactivatable by the switch right below the start button. So this 2-liter turbo engine makes 188 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and makes a pretty healthy 221 pound-foot of torque, available through a pretty decently wide torque spread or torque band of 1250 to 4,000 RPM. It comes again with optional 4-wheel drive. That is a $2,000 option, and it's hooked up to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, just like the CLA. I'm not sure if Mercedes has released the MPG data yet. I will put it right down here. But yeah, it does not have any hybrid or electrical assistance. That's pretty much safe for CLA, or not CLA, safe for the 53 variants and so on and so forth. And as of right now, we don't know if we're getting an A43 or A45 variant of this vehicle, but based on how small this, or how much size this engine takes up, I don't believe they'll be able to shoehorn an inline 6 into this car. So we can count the 53 and the 43 variants out, so it's definitely going to be a 45 variant, maybe even a 35. So let's take a look at what all safety this Mercedes A-Class has to offer. This here A-Class does not skimp out on safety. Actually, this is one of the better equipped and one of the safest vehicles in its class. You have, now pardon me, I have to use this list because there is so much to actually give as far as safety. You have standard active brake assist, you have standard attention assist, a standard backup camera, crosswind assist, adaptive braking technology, brake assist, and that pretty much ends the standard side. You have optional active LED headlamps, which this vehicle is equipped with the LED high performance insignia in the headlights itself. You have adaptive high beam assist that turns on and off the actual high beams. Blind spot assist, which this car also has. Traffic signage assist, which reads the traffic signs and tells you, okay, speed limit's 35 through here. Let me tell you that in the actual infotainment. You have active parking assist, which is pretty much the actual car driving itself into a parking spot. I still believe that you have to use the gas and the brake and control the transmission. You have active distance assist, Distronic, which is pretty much adaptive cruise control. You have optional active steering assist, which I believe is their lane keep assist system. Evasive steering assist, which takes the vehicle and swerves itself out of an impending collision if it can't stop itself and either lane is clear. You have active brake assist with cross traffic function, so that when someone's coming and you're backing up, you don't see them, they all of a sudden come out of nowhere. The car, I believe, will stop for you. Optional active emergency stop assist, speed limit assist, active lane keeping assist, active blind spot, active lane change, optional pre-safe plus and pre-safe sound, which will actually emit a white noise that triggers your ears to cancel it out because of a side collision that actually, since airbags deploy so quick, they have so much volume to it that it could deafen you. So Mercedes likes to be on that really, really safe side. And you have also a surround view system as well. So what does this new A-Class cost? Honestly, I was very surprised when I heard the price, because this has a ton of technology, a literal crap ton that I needed to use my spec sheet, and I had to print out the safety section in 2 columns because there was that much information on it. What's the price? $32,500 or $34,500 if you get 4MATIC. That's nuts, and there just went a Tesla Model 3. Guys, if any of you have a Tesla Model 3 and would like to fly down here to Pennsylvania to let me review it, I would be more than happy to. Just make sure it's all charged up. But $32,500 for this big and this equipped of a vehicle, you're practically walking off with a steal. It's got a very nice interior. It's got a pretty peppy 2-liter engine. It's got available LED headlamps. LED as standard, active is optional. It's got so much standard safety equipment. It's got a near panoramic sunroof. It's got a decent sized trunk. I mean, what can I say negative about it? I mean, this is almost as good of a value as a Hyundai. Yes, I said Hyundai. I know I might be a little bit fanboying here, but I mean, $32,500. You get a soft touch full interior, leather seats, power adjustable, seat kinetics, everything, the whole 9 yards. I don't know what Mercedes is doing, but they're on a roll. Even though the shift towards SUVs is really coming through, especially with the introduction of the new GLE, which I might be reviewing here very shortly, and also the GLS and the upcoming GLA. Mercedes is still sticking true to their cars, because cars like the E63S AMG is one balls out of a vehicle. And I want to try to review it, but I don't know if they'll let me. But I'll let you guys know. For A8 Reviews, this is Jeremy. Make sure you subscribe to see me following the automotive industry one revolution at a time. So unfortunately, I won't be able to drive the all-new A-Class today, but I will here in the near future, and I will let you guys know how that is. Make sure you guys check out my website, posted down below in the description below. And again, special thanks to Mercedes-Benz of Lancaster for allowing me to do this. This is really the only Mercedes dealer that I actually trust, that truly cares about their customers and doesn't try to sell them a car unless they want to be sold. Thank you very much, Mercedes-Benz of Lancaster. I will always come back to you guys for car reviews and so on and so forth. So for AA Reviews, I'm Jeremy. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all that. Check out the review down below on my website, posted in the description below, and see what I think of it. Cancel.